What was that you were showing off on the screen, Michael?
Something finally came into the shop that Nikki has been wanting forever and a bloody day.
Do share.
I'm going to. Hang on, let me get this all back where it needs to go here. Well, as everybody knows, Sideshow Collectibles makes epic stuff.
That they do.
They are just completely epic and awesome that way. And that is not where that goes, but it's going to go there now. So, Storm Shadow came in.
No way.
It's the Storm Shadow action figure from Sideshow Collectibles. He comes with a grip ton of stuff, like the backpack's not on him. You got the sword actually goes in the scabbard. He has three trays of crap that he comes with, including arrows, tonfa, miscellaneous hands, a compound bow.
Ooh.
Belts of stuff. Obviously, the cool kick-ass box. And they did. I don't know if you're old enough to remember this. The old GI Joes. Actually, you should be. The figures you used to get. One of the things on the back of them, and Larry Hama wrote these, was the ID cards on the back of the figures would be like in that format that talks about the character.
Right. Ooh.
They did it
really?
on this.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
They went old school with it. This thing's the size of the classic GI Joes. It's awesome. It's a lot of money.
That is impressive.
We are not going to talk about how much it costs. I will say it's under 200.
So $199.99. Okay.
No, it's lower than that. Not much.
Okay.
But yeah, so she's going to be working a couple weekends for free to pay this puppy off.
But there are just some things that we do just for our hobbies, you know?
Well, and that's just it. What's the main reason Nikki works at said shop?
Mm-hmm.
To pay for her hobby. So
true, very true. Although I will say this though, that
I mean the details. Look at the face on this thing. Look at it.
That is nice.
That is badass.
I like it.
The sword is actual metal. I mean, it's impressive.
Okay. There is a new figure that's available. Well, it's available for pre-order. That I'm quite sure Nikki is going to want to pre-order. Because I know she kind of has a thing for, Asuka figures, right?
He's probably using Safari, by the way, Prenny.
Well, you have this one. That's now available for pre-order.
Yeah, I actually kind of want that one, but it's just, money.
Yeah, I know. It comes out in September. It's about $95.
Sadly, no, will not happen. As much as I would love to have that figure, I cannot justify it.
I completely understand.
Especially with other things that are coming up in the near future.
True. All right, but enough about...
How much is it?
No, I told you, it's about 95 US.
Oh, well, okay, that's not as bad, but still.
No, because, figures at that caliber are about like 160, 165. And this one's actually 95, so... It's actually pretty cool.
Oh, boy. Actually, he is a tech. It's just every now and then it doesn't link up.
That's weird.
So don't assume that my parent is not technically savvy, because he is. He's A+ certified and everything. It just wasn't connecting.
Welcome to Fix This with Michael and Jason. How are you doing today?
Can't justify financially because we're getting ready to we're looking to we're waiting for our lease to expire on the apartment to get the F out of Dodge.
Well, getting a giant new home, is always beneficial, which means you have more.
And you know what the first project is going to be?
Man cave?
Building. Well, kind of. Tool area.
That's
building workbenches.
There you go.
There is on YouTube, if you go digging. Fawn Davis mentioned it when I ran into him at Kamikaze. That you can build your own vacuform table for under $500.
I'm quite sure you probably bookmarked that already. And
no, I haven't found yet. I still haven't found it.
Oh, you still haven't found it?
I was looking, but I haven't found. I'm going to email Davis directly at his website and say, "Hey, you mentioned this to me at Kamikaze. I can't find it. Can you provide linkage, please?"
Once you finally move and start working on that, you'll definitely be sharing that on the show.
Oh, most amazing, most definitely, and I will probably be setting up video feeds from there to,
Sounds good.
I'll do a vacuum form tutorial on show.
Today on how to, we have
today on do this. Well, and we can't say try this at home because that's already taken.
Try this at home. All the good ones are taken.
All the good names are taken, so we'll have to find up with something.
All right, shall we move on with the show?
Yes, let us move on with the show.
All right, we have some. Well, I guess it's Disney news now because Disney owns Marvel, so
yeah,
I guess
true.
we can mark that off.
Yeah, anytime we talk about Marvel, we're sponsoring. We're talking about our surreptitious sponsor,
Disney. With the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie, a lot of people are wondering how is it going to tie into the Marvel cinematic universe. Is there going to be any crossovers at all? But they're kind of confirming this in a very real way. The writer for Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, James Gunn, who also directed the film, in a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly states, and I quote, "We're definitely connected to Avengers 3. So that makes me wonder, is Thanos coming to Earth, and are the Avengers and Guardians going to actually team up?
Okay, Thanos has to come to Earth at some point. Because you literally see him at the end of the first Avengers movie.
Right, yes.
I mean, you get a full-on face shot. So there is no doubt that is Thanos.
Yeah, that was the end of phase. That was the...
And since all the Marvel Studios movies, I have to put that in air quotes because not all the Marvel movies are Marvel Studios movies.
Right.
Since all the Marvel Studio movies are linked directly, that means that, and the fact that they're keeping semi-canon in Guardians of the Galaxy with comics, meaning Gamora is Thanos' daughter. So for those of you who don't know, and it's not a spoiler. They don't hide the fact.
Nope.
That's one of the reasons she's got quote unquote serious daddy issues. If your dad was Thanos, you'd have daddy issues too. But yeah, they're working towards the Infinity Gauntlet. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, they're easily going to be going down that path.
But if it's tied to Avengers 3, does that mean Mr. Stark's going to space?
If he gets over his PTSD, yeah.
Well, because that's what that's part of how he got out. That's part of how he got over it.
Right.
He went zooming around space, and he ended up hooking up with the Guardians.
Exactly.
So, it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
They're
doing a special this Tuesday.
What's up?
You haven't heard about this?
I didn't hear you. What was it?
They're not running. Shield's not going to be on this week because they're doing. Remember the making of thing they did?
Right. Yeah.
For Winter Soldier. Or was it Winter Soldier? Yeah, it was Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the same thing for Guardians this week.
Okay. I mean, yes, that's probably going to be cool and all, but god damn it, just let me move forward with the story with
after the bombshell they dropped last week,
which we'll get to later on in the show.
Oh my god. I was half cool with it and half kind of pissed off.
But I mean,
it's a very Whedon thing to do.
It is a very Whedon thing to do. But Whedon has many projects between now and Avengers 3 to mess with all of our
Avengers 2.
Well, yeah, they still have to finish phase 2. They have to finish phase or even start working on phase 3. But given the fact that Kevin Feige, I think like the highest position over at Marvel right now in charge of the cinematic universe, he's already stated they're working on a schedule of 2 to sometimes 3 movies a year all the way to 2028.
Well, now that Marvel Studios is literally its own studio. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's its own group now.
It is, yes.
It's a wholly owned subsidiary of Disney, but
it makes them buku bucks.
It means they've got the backing, but it's what's kind of sad. And this is, I know you mentioned that we're going to be talking about Winter Soldier in a minute, and we'll get there. But it's there's something about that's kind of sad though, because my dreams and hopes and prayers that Fox and Disney would find some amicable solution, since they basically have to do the same thing with Star Wars, which may be why Fox is pissed, because Fox had Star Wars up until Disney bought it.
This is true, yes.
And they don't have any more licensing.
Nope.
They don't have to run it through Fox anymore.
And they can only make so many X-Men and Spider-Man movies, so.
Well, that's Sony.
Well, that's right. Sony has
Spider-Man. Sony.
That's right.
Actually, Spider-Man and there was another one that was Sony. Oh crap! There's another Marvel character that Sony's got. Fox has the mutants, and Sony's got Spider-Man and another one that I don't remember. So yeah, it's. But Sony's contracts are going to run out shortly. But Sony hasn't done anything that has directly countermanded. Actually, it kind of has, but hasn't really directly countermanded the Disney universe. You could theoretically still squeeze Spider-Man into an Avengers movie.
And given the fact...
all they have to do is reference the attack on New York once.
Right. True. Not to mention, the whole Avengers cast throughout the comic universe kept on... it was continuously changing, so...
Well, yeah. The members of the Avengers teams, both West Coast and East Coast, constantly shifted. And Spidey's in and out. Hell, Deadpool was in the Avengers a couple times.
Yes, he was.
And it was awesome. It was chimichangalicious, but it was... So I'm hoping.
Well,
that's Fantastic Four. That's it.
That's what the one which they're going to reboot.
Which they're rebooting, which is kind of sad because I like Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, but they have to replace the Fire guy anyway because he's now Captain America.
Yes. Well,
so
for only
you can't
so
be Johnny
long.
Storm and Steve Rogers at the same time.
For only so long, because he like everyone else in Avengers was initially signed on for a 9-picture deal. He negotiated down for a 6-picture deal, and he's already announced that he wants to move away from acting and go to directing at the end of his 6-picture contract.
Which is kind of sad because I actually like his version of Captain America
I think he works really well.
We're just skipping ahead a few here.
Yeah, we're already talking about the Marvel Universe. We might as well just continue on this path.
What's the number on that one? Okay. 31. Pop up that spoiler thing.
Well, I'll get to it in just a second. I just wanted to state that.
Okay.
So you have Captain America, 6-picture deal. The actor, I forget his name, who played Bucky. He signed for a 9-picture deal.
All right.
So...
there's a lot of speculation where that's going to go, and I'm kind of leaning towards...
Given in the comic universe, Captain America does fall, and then Bucky, to honor his friend, picks up the mantle, picks up the shield, and continues on as Captain America.
Well, and then until Rogers returns...
Right.
Then Rogers basically says, yeah, go ahead, and retires for a bit.
Right.
And then at some point, Rogers comes back, and that's about the point of the Civil War. I want to say that's around the Civil War.
I think it's around that time frame. Yeah.
Marvel Civil War. So that's oh my god, that would be a movie thing to see. Don't get me wrong, Infinity Gauntlet's going to be cool. But if we could somehow that's the big reason I really oh god, please let Fox and Disney make up, have whatever, illicit affair. I don't care. I want to see Marvel Civil War. That would be epic. That
would be absolutely epic. And given the fact that, like we stated, Disney and Marvel have movies planned out till 2028. I think that's Phase 4 and 5. Well before then, like you said, Sony and Fox are going to lose their contracts for those characters unless they renegotiate. But could you imagine in Phase 5 we would have the ultimate Civil War on?
I'll be sitting in a retirement home going, yeah, you go get him, Spidey. You kids get the hell off my virtual lawn. That's what it's going to be.
Yes, very true. But let's go back to good old Cap. Let me throw this up here.
Let's talk about Cap.
Because it has been long enough that it's been out, so most of you
haven't seen it by now.
While this is up, you should not be listening.
Yeah. We're gonna spoil. If you have, this also goes for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, we'll be talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well.
Because oh my god, did you see that picture? The thing the Muppets picture I posted.
Yes, the Hail Hydra
with Ernie leaning into Bert's ear going Hail Hydra. I saw that, I fell out. I thought that was hilarious.
Love it. So let's talk about the movie first.
Okay.
First off, what'd you think of it?
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I'm a little annoyed at some parts, but I think I'm more annoyed by the Easter egg than I am anything else.
Well, you talking about at the end, right?
The first one. Not
okay,
the
we'll get to that in a moment. But
I honestly think they slapped on the second one. And I'll go into why in a second.
Okay.
But I thought it was great. Oh my God, this can come back to haunt me, but I don't care. Nikki and I went and saw it locally.
Okay.
And in the theater, in the showing we were at, was Mr. Lynn Thompson. For those of you who don't know, Lynn Thompson is the owner of Cold Steel Knives, who Nikki has family who works for. So we were in the same showing as Lynn Thompson. And after it was over, a thought occurred to me, and I wasn't the only one who had it.
Mm-mm.
He must have been pissed because there were a grip ton of knives in that movie, and none of them were cold steel, which is unusual.
True, very true.
Because if you watch The Expendables, there's cold steel knives left, right, and center.
Yes.
You know? We were like, oh, Lynn must have been pissed that he missed out on this because there were like, there was like knives everywhere in this movie, and we're like, that's not a cold steel. Okay. We thought that was kind of funny. But that aside, it was great. It was a fun movie, a fun ride. They got kind of cheesy with the Falcon stuff a little bit,
but actually,
I like the way they handled it.
It worked well given the confines.
In the West Hollywood flaming wingsuit, you know.
Yeah, true.
The fact that it was a prototype military unit makes sense. The logic on it works well. I was actually kind of I was surprised that Robert Redford took the role, let alone that he did decent in it.
But come on, could you?
I'm not surprised he did decent in it.
I was going to say, could you think of anybody else other than Robert Redford that can deliver a line like, in order to create a new world, you have to destroy the old world and be believable?
Dustin Hoffman. Who has worked with Redford multiple times.
Very true, yes. Although in this situation,
honestly, the thing that was running through my head was All the President's Men. It's just like, really? But yeah, it's okay. No, you're right. He was a good choice. He did he did great in the role. I was kind of annoyed with what they did with Natasha, with Black Widow. Honestly, her performance was great. Her actions were great. Her lines were great. Her hair sucked.
Yeah,
it was so distracting. She looked like she had fried her hair. It wasn't nice and well kept like it was in Avengers.
Yeah, very true.
I know it's a superficial thing, and I admit it's a superficial thing.
It is a superficial thing.
But it's Scarlett fucking Johansson. Do her hair. It was really funny seeing the preview for Lucy in front of it.
Oh yeah. But for me, watching it, there wasn't enough of the Winter Soldier, Bucky, to I think to actually warrant calling this movie The Winter Soldier. I mean, I have to say, Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans, they played off each other so well in several scenes throughout the entire movie.
And I am so glad they did not go down the "Are these two gonna kiss?" route, because that would have been sellout city.
Although it was nice the extra little bit about the agent assigned to watch over.
Oh, Agent 13?
Yeah. Was it Susan or Sarah? I forget her name.
Yeah, the nurse. Yeah.
The nurse, yeah.
The not nurse, actually.
Very true. Talking about the underlining aspect of Hyrdra, basically.
I thought that was awesome. Well played.
It was well played.
Kind of pissed me off in one area, though.
For me, the oddball moment was Zola.
Yeah, that was a bad. I was looking at that going, this is a bad Matrix flash.
True.
Because he was talking through the Matrix screensaver, basically.
Yes.
The only thing missing were the random Japanese characters floating down the screen.
I was like, ancient technology, USB 3.0 flash drive in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. I was just going, oh my God, these are all these tape drives that are maybe, a mega pop. Yeah. This big, vast warehouse. I'm like, okay, even with all those computers, you've got less than a terabyte of data, the nerd in me is going, wrong.
Yeah, 200,000 yards of tape does not equal what to make a brain.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Not even close.
Though, I have to say, knowing how Zola returns in the comics, this kind of plays a little better in the cinematic universe.
Yeah, no, it fits well
because
enough.
In the comic version, he was not Krang from Ninja Turtles. What was the one with the alien in like the chest cavity? Yeah, it was Krang. Krang. It's essentially the same thing. His head was right there in a robot's body. That's how he comes back in the comics. And then part of me kind of wants to go, that would have been just funny as hell to see come out.
That would have been amusing. That would have been hella amusing. But then, then Turtles would be coming out later, and everybody would. And I think that's probably exactly why they didn't do that, is because everybody would make the Krang.
Exactly.
Whether it predates or not.
I do have to say though, the way that Fury escaped death.
I knew for a fact he wasn't gonna. I mean,
no, he wasn't gonna die.
If you've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. once, you know.
There's no way he was gonna die. Let's face it this way, you can look at this point. Sam Jackson still has several movies left on his contract, so.
Well, okay, ignoring that.
But
coming in off the street.
Yeah, but the thing is though, it was the little adapter that he used to cut through anything. That he cut through the bottom of the roof of the car when it was upside down, the giant plasma torch. I was like, that's just like creative or writer's prerogative. How did he get out of this? Oh, he has this magical plasma torch that can go through anything.
Yeah. It's like, oh, great. Nick Fury's version of the sonic screwdriver. Fan-fucking-tastic.
They did tie it in that Simmons and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually the one that created it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And there was that is one of the things I like about having the TV show that tie everything together. And so that's largely what the TV show is functioning as anymore. Although I'm kind of pissed off because moving into the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. portion of this discussion, or do you want to talk about the Easter egg first?
Let's finish up the end part of the movie plus the bonuses, and then we'll go to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So having the super helicarriers bit, it was
kind of awesome.
It looked impressive.
I actually liked it.
If you guys ever go to fxguide.com, they actually have a behind the scenes where they break down a lot of the scenes, including the one scene with the helicarrier crashing into
the Potomac.
Yeah, it's actually quite impressive. I think it wrapped up as well as it could, and because it essentially drastically changes how not only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to progress, if it can, but how all the other Marvel movies, at least the ones that are located on Earth, are going to be affected.
Well, and that's the thing that kind of got me. It's like, okay, you have effectively pulled S.H.I.E.L.D. out of the universe.
Yeah.
Now, I admit that they had already blown S.H.I.E.L.D. up to basically be Warehouse 13, minus magic.
Right.
But it's...
I don't know. I look at it... Go ahead.
You can't get rid of... S.H.I.E.L.D. is integral to the Marvel universe.
Right.
And, okay, so there's the Hyrdra thing. At some point, you're going to have to find a way to resurrect S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which is going to happen eventually, probably with Avengers 2. Which will have to tie in anyways because they're...
Or it'll happen in the series. The series will be part of that resurrection. Because that or they've killed the entire TV series. It's not going to be Marvel's Agents of Hyrdra.
Although that would be pretty badass.
That would be kind of awesome because
they already have the logo for it.
If you throw an S in there, it could be MASH. If you throw an S in there, it could be MASH. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. / Hyrdra. MASH.
The only problem with that is
all we need now is Alan Alda.
I was gonna say, like, if you do that, all I need to hear is "Suicide is Painless" in the background.
It could happen. It could happen. Marvel's Agents of Secret Hyrdra. There you go.
There you go. All right, let's talk about that spoiler at the end.
Oh God. Okay, the Easter eggs.
The Easter eggs.
Let's talk about Easter egg number 2 because it's well placed, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Bucky's spoiler.
Yeah, Bucky's spoiler.
Where he basically walks into the Smithsonian and looks at the Captain America segment.
Right, to try and refresh his memory as to who he was and what all was involved.
Right. which is a serious push in that, the rumor everyone thinks of, which is he's going to take over as Captain America within the next few movies.
Which wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
The actor's young enough.
Yes.
But I don't think that was originally an Easter egg scene.
You don't think so?
That was originally in the movie towards the end, because you have the wrap-up thing with...
Oh, true. Okay.
Yeah, the wrap-up thing at the gravestone where, Nick Fury lets out his inner hood rat and, goes off and does his thing. And then, which is kind of a knock, not to meant as a knock on the character or Sam, because I thought it looked pretty badass. But, you've got that. The next logical scene is, they're saying they're going to go find Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
The next logical scene is you cut to Bucky looking at this thing.
Right.
And my guess is that was the original final shot.
Which would have made a hell of a lot of sense.
Which would have made sense. But if you recall, the other Easter egg was leaked 2 weeks before release.
Yes, it was.
And remember, we were talking, it's like, oh, they're probably going to throw a second Easter egg to make up for it.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably what it was.
My guess is that's what they did. They're like, oh, shit, what can we do in this time frame we've got? We've only got 2 weeks before this stuff has to get out there. Quick, take this scene, slap it on the end.
Right, re-edit it and throw it in there. Yeah.
That's my guess.
I could see that working.
Now, that being said,
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
With the spoiler,
we'll go back to the one that was leaked.
Yeah, so we'll go through real quick. You're introduced to the probably one of the next major Marvel villains, Baron von Strucker.
Von Bluther.
Yeah. You find out that Hyrdra is still alive, has many bases of operation.
Has Loki's.
Yeah, they have Loki's scepter, which they claim they've been using for experiments that they've only scratched the surface of their potential, and obviously that probably includes experimentation on human beings, which results in the twins.
Volunteers, but 2 dying in the twins.
And this is where many fans rage so hard.
And you know what? I don't blame them. Because you have just completely retconned and, pardon my language, rat-fucked their origin.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to throw a language spoiler on this episode.
So what you're looking at from left to right is Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Who, according to original Marvel canon and the upcoming Days of Future Past movie, are the children of Magneto and are mutants.
Yep.
But they can't call them mutants because this is the Disney film.
No. So therefore
Fox has the rights on mutants now.
Right. So we officially enter the Age of Miracles.
Yeah, the miracle. They're called the Miracles. It doesn't say whose kids they are.
Mm-mm.
Now they may still be. I forget what. Oh God, what is? Chat room, help me out. Magneto's real name. I want to say Victor something, but I'm probably thinking Victor Von Doom, which it isn't.
No, it's not.
But they may actually name them as his children or the children of XYZ, and then if they ever do manage to make up, they can go down that road. But
right,
yeah, it's the fact that they got their powers by limited
human experimentation.
Eric, thank you.
I don't know. I just look at this and I go,
"Oh, that's a hell of a lag."
You truly mess things up. I mean, we're talking.
Yeah, it's all retcon and it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, I mean, Scarlet Witch, for crying out loud, her powers or hex powers it's magic, not telekinesis.
Magic, not telekinesis.
Yeah.
Quicksilver is just mutant speed.
Right. Although
and Scarlet Witch's power is a mutation that allows her to use magic.
True.
But, although they referenced Stephen Strange.
They did. That was going to bring that part up next.
That made me happy as hell because that means that Doc Strange is in the universe.
Well, yes. What's it called? Kevin Feige has said that having a Doctor Strange movie is a high priority for him, either in Phase 3 or 4.
Now, here's another question. Oh no, wait, that's DC. Never mind. Forget it. We'll go back to that. I was going to say, wait a minute, with Constantine coming up, but wait a minute, that's the wrong company.
All right, let's move over to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Uprising. Okay. So I love how
they killed off the bitchy redhead, or the bitchy girl with the red streak.
Yeah.
I'm kind of upset about that, but kind of not, because I didn't really like her. I liked her look. I did not like her. I hated her.
I'm glad Bill Paxton's character didn't die, which means we can have more of him possibly in the future.
Which is cool, but I don't like the fact that he turned out to be the Hyrdra agent.
True. And then there's the big, what a twist, you know,
God,
bit.
I am expecting a double negative on that. I honestly am.
You thinking that?
Well, if you think about it, the whole thing. Well, first off, I pegged. I mean, the minute he said, "Well, I want to go and I want to turn," he betrayed me. He was my SO, and I'm going to turn the
right.
Okay, you're one of two things is going to happen. You're going to die, or you're going to be a traitor. One of the two. It's going to go one of these two ways. And sure enough, quadruple tap on the bitch, on the obnoxious woman, and which is kind of sad. Like I said, I liked her look. I hated her character.
Okay.
But yeah, Ward, really? Really?
Very true. Not to mention before
finally got to make out with Skye. And now you're a Hyrdra agent.
It's like you just pissed off the cavalry. You just pissed off May.
Although, if you think about it again, well, May doesn't care that much.
This is true.
If you think about it, though, this also kind of, and this is really sad, and it's really sad that I know this much about the Whedonverse. When Buffy and Angel finally culminated, Angel turned evil. Skye finally kissed Ward. Ward turned evil. So Skye is Buffy, Ward is Angel.
So when are we gonna have the musical episode?
Oh God! Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the musical.
I do have to say this. It was probably one of the stronger episodes so far of the season in my mind, because not to mention, I really like the tie-in and how deep the tie-in was into the movie.
Yes.
They couldn't do much for a tie-in for Thor because, well, that took place in London, so.
True, but they did tie. Well, the Lady Sif thing was after the fact. I mean, they tied into Thor a couple episodes earlier.
Right.
But and I still haven't seen. I don't know that I've seen that episode yet.
Oh, okay then.
But I think that I totally think it's going to be a double. It's either going to be. I think it's going to be a double negative. I think, but that doesn't explain the fact that he killed what's her name.
Yeah.
It's
true. We'll find out. Hopefully in the within 2 weeks. I do have to say though, this next bit of news doesn't bode well for S.H.I.E.L.D. or for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is that the last episode, which had all these tie-ins and everything, so you think it would be have good viewership. It got the lowest viewership ratings in the entire series so far. So
when everything's going to change. Like they haven't said that 3 episodes in a row.
God. And their whole hashtag, it's all connected. And I'm like, we've known this since the beginning.
Yeah, that's kind of obvious. It's got Coulson. Duh, it's connected.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Overall, I call both the movie and the episode a success as far as moving the plot forward in the Marvel universe. Okay. But they have a lot to explain in the next several episodes, because I believe by the end of the first season, or it could be the series finale, who knows, of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they have to start building up to the new origin story for Ultron, for Avengers 2.
Well, there's that, and there's going to be some sort of tie-in with Guardians, I'm sure. But my thing is, while I agree there was a lot of it that was strong in the episode, it wasn't tied in enough, in my mind.
Okay.
How they figured out that it's Hyrdra was hokey. The Hyrdra theming was, I mean...
It's a code. Let me deal with this code.
Yeah, really. And it's like, okay, that's total weak sauce. And I still still want to know who Sky's really working for.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. To me, I believe who Sky was working for, that was already wrapped up, but that's just me. I could be completely wrong.
And you know what? We'll find out in time.
Yes.
Or one of us can somehow score an interview with Joss and ask. Or Jed. Actually, Jed would.
Yeah, because Jed's the one more
Jed's the one actually hands-on.
Yeah, true. All right.
So it was good. We can take down the spoilers.
Yeah, and there he goes. All right. Let's move on to some other news. Wow, we took a lot of time on that, so we're gonna.
I figured it would eat up most of the show.
Yeah, let's talk about Google because they're tempting many geeks' wallets this week. So, we've talked about several times about Google Glass on this show,
which is still a prototype, technically.
Technically, still in the
beta,
the development kit. Yes.
Yeah.
They announced that they're going to expand the availability of Google Glass to not just developers at this time. So for 1 day and 1 day only, according to Engadget.com, on April 15th, anyone with a U.S. shipping address
tax day
and $1,500 can purchase a Google Glass headset.
You want to destroy your tax refund? Here.
Yep. It's only for 1 day only, limited supplies. Again, this is the development kit only. They will be including either pair of sunglass lenses or the ability to connect prescription lenses to it. So there's that little
bucks, and there's not a lot that supports it yet.
Very true.
Not to mention, if I recall correctly, the res on the dev kit isn't that high.
It's I think 320 by 240, something like that.
Yeah,
something like that because it only shoots 720p video. So
yeah, so it's okay. That's nice.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
Yeah, I'm
more interested in the dev kit 2 and the $350 dev kit for Oculus 2. Or Oculus Rift rather.
I'm curious to see if and when, actually more so when, Facebook renames Oculus.
Yeah.
Facebook Vision. Another thing real quick. I mentioned this on Anna Break. God, it was late last year when it was first announced that a company over in Japan named Interlink filed a request with ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Basically, people who say you can use a .com, .org, .net, .whatever. They put a request in.
Body, right?
Yeah, they put a request in, and of all days, and they could reconfirm this the day later because they announced this on April 1st. They're like, no, this has to be April Fool's. And then they said it again April 2nd. I'm like, oh, I guess it's not.
Okay.
The new domain .moe has been approved.
Oh my God. Is that going to be followed by .chicon or .lolicon or oh my God.
.shota, .yuri, .trap,
yeah, exactly. .trap, .tarp.
It's a tarp. No.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Really?
.moe will be available in the very near future.
Part of me is just like wanting to facepalm some kind of bad, but another part of me is like, that's actually kind of awesome.
I already have several domains in mind when this thing launches. I'm like, I can make some spoof ones, although having OtakuLife.moe and be like, Jason and Michael.
If you're not lined up for that, something's wrong.
It'd just be a picture of Jason and Michael. Jason and Michael, not Moe.
Yeah, really. Picture Jason Michael. This is not Moe.
HPL. Don't confuse this site for From My Mother's Basement .trap. You will regret it.
Although there may or may not be a trap door.
So
if you don't get a .moe type,
I'm gonna get several .moes just because. I mean, there's so many things you could do with it. I had to throw that in there.
They actually did that. That's kind of amusing.
It's kind of freaking epic to me, but you know.
Next thing you know, we're going to see a .dbz.
You never know. Never say never.
Or Dot Gundam. Dot Zaku.
Dot Zaku.
I mean, well, if you think about it, I mean, okay, so granted, moe is a I don't know, you call it a genre per se, but it effectively is. I mean, next, like you said, why don't we have Dot Yuri, Dot Yaoi, Dot, it's Dot Tsundere. I would get a Datsun address.
No. Dot Dere. So it's Tsundere or Yandere or
there you go. or Dot Desu.
Because everyone needs more Desu.
Everybody needs more Desu. Over 9001.dbz. It's over 9,000.
Now, if only ICANN can approve all of these things, it'd be freaking amazing.
It would be amusing, that's for sure. Well, and it's got to be under IP6, right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Moving on real quick. There is a new game that's been announced that I am absolutely ecstatic for. It's from the Civilization series. Basically all the games where you can.
Is it the Civ MMO?
It's not a Civ MMO. It is a Civ game. Goes in a different path than we usually playing. Enjoy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. The year is 2557, and the name of the place is Babylon 5. So it's Civ terraforming.
Kinda, yeah. Basically the whole idea.
You get to be Noah's Ark.
Yes and no. You start off this game before what they call Turn Zero. You're picking which group you're with, what colonists you're going to bring in, what cargo you're going to grab. So you're not playing like the Russians versus Americans or anything like that. It takes, like with past Civ games where you could, if you really wanted to, go down the exact path of history, or you could make your own alternate, historical path. This one kind of takes that idea of gameplay, but moves it to the future rather than, focusing on what happened in the past.
Which means they have to define various potential future events based upon.
Exactly. I think it was an inevitable decision for a Civ game to go into space like this. But the other thing I like about this is that the tech tree is not really a tree, because usually you have like 3 different paths. You have to go down this one path, another path to build up your science or technology or weapons or whatnot. This one, because you're going to a whole nother world, it's more of a tech net that you start in one aspect and that can branch out to everything else with that's available.
So there's going to be like terraforming and stuff, right?
Kind of, yeah. And
I'm curious about it. I've always thought the Civ games were neat. I've never actually managed to play one to completion.
Okay.
But
they're fun multiplayer. They just take hours upon hours to play.
Well, so the single player, but I just wasn't that big. I tried to get it because Civ is Sim is of those god sims.
Mm-hmm.
The first one that I remember, there were 2 of them.
Right.
There was Sim City, and the one where you were literally God.
Mm-hmm.
Populous.
Populous.
Oh,
yeah, there was Populous. There was Black and White. There was a bunch of other.
Well, Black and White came later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking back in the very beginning of the genre.
Okay, yes.
It was Sim City and Populous.
Yes.
And I just the only reason I played Sim City was because I liked I liked building up my city and unleashing giant rubber monsters at it. I built up a city just to have Godzilla destroy it.
Okay. Yeah. I could see that. I actually have to say I've done that more than a few times.
I had my Lilo and Stitch moment.
That's a good way of putting it. So we'll find out more information about it.
It should be cool. Although, did you see, or no, you were the one that sent it to me. The demo for the new NVIDIA?
Yes.
The NVIDIA demo for Watch Dogs?
For Watch Dogs.
Why isn't that in our notes? Go pull that up.
Okay, fine. I can go pull that up real quick.
And we'll end with that.
All right. Well, while I'm working on that, we should talk about a game that you can get for free on iOS devices, and I think Android as well. It kind of works like Simpsons Tapped Out, where it all started with the fictional town of Springfield exploding, and its stupid overweight main character tasked with restoring the town to its former glory.
Family Guy?
Yes. Family Guy has their own version of the game now, called Family Guy: The Quest for Stuff. Begins after the fictional city of Quahog explodes, and its stupid overweight main character tasked restoring the town to its former glory.
So they're not at all denying that they are ripping off.
I think they actually hired the same developer.
They probably, well, I mean, they kind of get along now.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So if you can't get, if you need your fill of Patrick Warburton's voice.
Not to mention, they do everything they could possibly do to offend everyone.
Oh, I have to get this game for my iPad.
Racism, sexism, homophobia, pedophilia, you name it. It's all in this game.
I don't know about the pedophilia, but oh man. Wow. Speaking of which,
it is available right now.
Oh god.
Come on, you know you'll play it.
Yeah, I probably will. That's what's sad.
You'll probably download it right now.
Well, no, my iPad's in the other room. But the quest for stuff, huh?
And of course, you have different quests that you can actually grab and whatnot, but they definitely try to have their own little spin on it.
That's okay.
All right, I do have it up now. So, going back to video games. Well, we were staying on video games, but going to
back to the other part of the video games.
The Watch Dogs.
You guys remember when we were all gaga about Watch Dogs, and we're still kind of gaga about Watch Dogs. I'm not only gaga about Watch Dogs, but I'm gaga about Watch Dogs and upgrading my video card. Here's why. So, 4 days after my birthday, I saw that video when you sent it to me, and I was just like, oh my god, I need a new video.
Now, especially considering that
I've been needing a new video card for a while anyway, but
true.
This just reinforces the fact of how much I want a new video.
I mean, you remember the E3 video that launched this whole thing? We all
you and I just went gaga over, yeah.
And then there was a few trailers that were released earlier this year for the Xbox One PS4 version, and you're like, wait a minute, that looks significantly less graphically appealing than what you showcased before. Version. And then they showed this thing for NVIDIA, and I'm like, that's why.
Yeah. Oh, now I get it.
Well, I mean, let's go through this real quick. The minimum specs for PC for Watch Dogs: Intel Core 2 Quad, 2.66 gigahertz or greater, 6 gigs of RAM, DirectX 11 graphics card with 1 gig RAM, so like a NVIDIA GTX 460 or AMD Radeon HD 5770. Recommended processor: 8-core Intel Core i7 3770 at 3.5 gigahertz, or the AMD A350 X8 at 4 gigahertz.
I can't look. I'm going to have a hard enough time trying to find a way to replace my video card. I don't want to have to replace my entire fucking computer for one game.
DirectX 11.
I've got a Core i7 4, and I just got the stank eye of death.
You also need 8 gigs of RAM, a video card with at least 2 gigs of GDDR5 RAM.
The video card I want that I'm asking for my birthday has that. The NVIDIA's got a really nice card that I've been
NVIDIA just announced a new set of their top tier, because they already had the Titan. Now they announced the Titan Black, and while it is sexy to look at, it doesn't justify the $3,000 price tag for it.
No. The one I'm looking at is only $200.
$200. So like what?
That I might actually be able to justify. I think it was $200. I have to check my links. Hang on. I'll put it on my wish list.
It's all good. So yeah, it's gonna be a beefy game to play, which would be hilarious to watch people play it on Twitch and see who has the better computer.
Yeah, that reminds me. There were people who were asking me to not that long ago. Speaking of games on Twitch, I streamed me going through after I'd gone through it once.
Mhm.
I streamed going through BioShock Infinite, Under the Sea.
Yeah.
Ep 1. I haven't played Ep 2 yet. After I've gone through it and know what to do, then I'll go ahead and stream it. I'm not going to stream me klutzing around like a moron.
Oh, come on. That's half the fun.
That reminds me, I need to talk to you about making borders and stuff for me
again. Two final things before we wrap things up, I guess.
Yeah, $169 for the card I want.
Okay.
GTX 660 super clocked. 2 gigs of RAM.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
All right. So the last couple things. We've mentioned this before. How about some people want to do a documentary on digging up the supposed ET cartridge
the toxic landfill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, not only is Microsoft backing this now because they're going to stream it, via Xbox.
It's going to be hilarious. Maybe watch it'll be like what's his name, like Capone's vault. And they'll get Geraldo Rivera to host it, and nothing will happen. They'll dig and find nothing.
I mean, they're going to live stream April 26th at some, landfill in New Mexico, for literally 10 hours. So all you're going to see for 10 hours is something like this. You're going to get bored with this within an hour.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yes, they'll have, additional camera crews there to, to document the dig and use it for the documentary.
Well, and they're going to fill all that history with how bad a game it was and how much it was this. It's like it was an Atari 2600. The graphics looked like ass.
They've actually already confirmed that they're going to bring along the designer of E.T., the extraterrestrial game, Howard Scott Warshaw.
God. So it's going to be 10 hours of Schadenfreude theater.
Yes, very much so.
Of nostalgic Schadenfreude theater.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's sad is I remember there's games that I played that I thought in the day were like so awesome. Oh my God, I so love these games. They were so epic. I can't wait to play them. Then I got an emulator and I tried to play them and I'm like, oh my God, these games suck. It's like when you grew up and thought Scooby-Doo was the shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
No.
They didn't even have whites in their eyes. That's how bad Scooby-Doo was drawn.
Yeah, gotta remember that. All right, so that's going to happen.
Scooby-Doos at least have whites in their eyes.
The new ones, yes. So that's going to take place in about 13 days from now on April 26th.
That'll be amusing. I'll be in Portland, I think.
The final thing, because we always like to find something to spend your money on. Usually it's a Kickstarter or something. This one, actually, I'm quite sure several of you would actually want to back this. It's called the Micro. They're calling themselves the first truly consumer 3D printer. The idea behind this setup is that they are trying to create something that's insanely simple to use, both the hardware and the connecting software, which can be utilized either via a regular computer, a laptop, or a touch screen device, tablet, Microsoft Surface, what have you. So, and the thing is, their price is actually affordable for considering what this is. They started with the early bird adapter of $199. $200 gets you a 3D printer. That's already gone for the early backer. But they still have ones available at the $300 mark. You get a full 3D printer. Here's a cat for scale. Not sure why, but here you have a cat for scale.
So you can it tells you what your maximum surface area is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, this is like 7.8 inches square.
Okay.
So it's small, it's light.
It's enough to print your World of Warcraft figure.
Yeah.
Not with very good resolution, but you can do it.
Yeah, because
the very basic prototyping.
Right, they use microfilament spools on this thing. This whole thing looks pretty badass.
Microfilament?
Yes.
AKA fishing line?
That you can use,
or the usual PVC filament that regular real 3D printers.
You can use either or.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're feeding it with monofilament.
Mm-hmm. And right now, like I said, all they're asking for is $299, which given like less than 6 months ago, these things were
Can you print on the cat? That's cute.
Will the cat stay there long enough? You probably have to sedate it, but yes.
Especially since you'd be burning the cat.
Well, you know.
Stuff.
Yeah, well, you put
I think it's a neat concept. It'd be fun to play with, but I don't think I'll own one.
I'd make stuff all damn day if I had one of these things.
Yeah, but what are you gonna make? Stupid stuff.
Yes.
Which is pretty much what it's like. I don't want to donate money to this because you're just gonna make stupid crap. Well, what would you do with it? Make stupid crap. Oh yeah. It's.
I'll make a little stand for my iPhone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, and then for little projects like that, you could do that. I mean, I know people who use 3D printing just to make jigs for their woodworking. I mean, it works. There's the other guy we know, Paul, who was using it 3D printing to do prototypes for the shells for his Tachikoma making. I mean,
yeah, I think this could be really, really cool. And this just proves that the price can go down significantly. And apparently a lot of people have backed this already.
If I had the money that wasn't being saved for something else, I'd do it. If I had frivolous funds, I would do it.
True. But apparently 9,300 other people actually have frivolous funds, apparently. They've backed it to the tune of $2.6 million backed already.
Wow. And how much were they asking?
$50,000.
Damn. Go Kickstarter.
Yeah. And they still have 23 days to go. I could easily see this thing hitting over the
And what's sad is it's 23 days to go and no guarantee that anything will come of it. That's what a lot of people keep failing to remember about Kickstarter is
although
there's no, well, granted, you got your Pebble and other people got their stuff. There's a lot of people, there's no guarantee it's going to happen.
Yeah, of course there's no guarantee on this. You read these presentations and basically you see their timeline and what they have planned to how to produce these things, and you make a
calculated risk. Is it worth your risk to see the hopefully cool come
exactly true? And things take longer than usual on these things. Like I backed the Pebble and it took well over a year to receive the watch. I backed the Mega Tokyo visual novel game.
How's that coming, by the way?
It's coming along. He's still working on it, but I mean,
good.
He wanted to get at least one level done by February. That didn't happen because life. So, but he's still working on it. So,
and that's someone like that. Yeah. You're also supporting an artist that you care about.
Right. I also backed the Kickstarter for the Time of Eve translated Blu-ray to come over.
Those are the ones I've been trying to go for.
Yeah, those ones because they're actually getting official translators and paying them their time, and they're actually crowdsourcing a few things as well. But they keep giving regular updates. So at least I know I'll get something eventually because they actually even added an English dub.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's a calculated risk, but there's also some very cool things out there.
And like I said, if I had the money to do it, if I had the money lying around that wasn't slated for something else important, like moving, I would do it. That's something I could get behind because I think it's a neat idea. What am I going to do with it? Print stupid stuff. I'm going to make. Oh, actually, I know exactly what I do with it. Print my own BattleTech figures.
There you go.
Make my own minis. Make my custom minis.
There you go. Get your custom X-Wings in there, maybe.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Its own Star Wars miniatures.
Build my own custom Star Wars minis. I want to have an old Republic Starfighter. Here it is. Poosh.
All right. Well, I think we've talked enough about what we're watching already because of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and.
But there's more.
You have more stuff you want to share?
Well, no. I mean, if we're going to do that, what we've been talking about, because remember I had you grab those pictures for a reason.
I have them here. Go for it.
So what I've been watching, I'm still watching Clone Wars. I'm into season 3 now. I'll probably finish up season 3 tonight. I noticed something in season 3. For those of you who haven't watched, and those of you who have watched, you'll remember this. They go to a planet called Mortis, and there's like 3 or 4 episodes on this planet, where it's basically a central locale of the Force, and they pull in Anakin to verify that he is the one, and there's a point where he gets a flash of the future and he goes to the dark side to prevent his future from happening. But then all this other stuff happens. But in it, there's the father, who's like the neutral, there, who's balanced. Then there's the daughter, who is light side. The son, who is dark side. Please bring up his picture. This guy, look familiar? Kind of reminds me of the next guy. I'm wondering if they're resurrecting him.
I could see that. You know, they have very similar features. Have him come back as the Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, or it'd be really. But the problem with that is the other guy was way powerful, like godlike. So, but I let everybody else, do the comparison one more time. Tell me if I'm wrong. Do they not look? Does the Inquisitor not look like this guy?
Yes. Although the Inquisitor's head looks a little more perforated.
Yeah, perforated. He's missing the big gaping hole in his chest where the lightsaber got him. But you know. This just makes me wonder. Things that make you go, but there you go. So that's what I've been watching.
Okay. For me, I've just been watching all the new anime season out there.
What's kick-ass this season? Give me. If you were to pick your top 2 kick-ass anime of the season.
Top 2 kick-ass of this season so far, from what I've seen.
It can be moe, but it can't be super smarmy, disgusting moe.
Well, now you're taking all the fun out of it. No, I'm just kidding. I would have to say, what I've seen. And this was actually a big surprise. I only watched the first episode. It was just released earlier today. Mikaku City Actors was actually really freaking good.
What is that one?
This one, I give a base idea of what happened in this one. You have the main character. This guy, he's Hikimori. Hasn't been outside in like 2 or 3 years, but he always plays PC games and online. He has this really nice setup. About 2 years ago, he received a file that installed an AI into his system. And of course, it's an anime girl. Really well designed. Not overly stated, very cute, but also pretty much on like the tsundere level. Actually works well. In the first episode, he actually has to go out into the world because he has to go buy a new keyboard because in an argument with the AI girl, he spilt soda all over his keyboard. Didn't have a spare.
Okay, so, you need to link me this show.
Yeah, he actually goes to a mall, gets on like a 3rd or 4th floor. While he's trying to buy the keyboard, actually the entire floor gets taken over by terrorists. Oh, God. And he actually, turns around and says, you're in my way, I'll, destroy you or something like that. He actually finds a spare port on a computer somewhere, uploads the AI into the computer, and then she just goes, have fun.
Oh my. Okay, you have to link me this show.
I'll link you that one. So there's that one. Another one real quick. I'd have to say no, not that one. No, not that one. Okay, fine. This one. Watched this one just yesterday. It's called The World is Still Beautiful. It takes place probably another world, semi-medieval era, but there is magic available, but it's not by to like the populace. It's by certain people have the ability. You have a princess who was sent over to this other kingdom to actually marry the king.
Okay.
She comes over there and finds out that the king, who's actually taken over half the world, is a young boy. Initially brings over to entertain him and whatnot. And it's the relationship between the two that actually works out pretty well. They're actually helping out each other.
Okay.
With a couple of bits in there. I'm actually going to be enjoying that. There are other ones you should probably check out. Black Bullet, Chaika, Brynhildr in the Darkness is a good one. I haven't really found any dark, or bad ones yet. The only one that you would probably recommend, and I won't go into it right now, is No Game, No Life.
No Game, No Life?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we were supposed to talk about this a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
We have to, next week, we're going to talk about some movies that the trailers have been out for a little while, but they haven't come out yet, including Knights of Badassdom.
Yeah, yes.
And there was another one. So we have to talk about those coming up next week. Last thing I would like to leave with is something that's not really news, but if you're into BattleTech and you're playing MechWarrior Online, or you're considering playing MechWarrior Online, check the link I just sent you.
Yeah, I got it.
Guess who's coming to town in June? There's better video of that. I have to go find it. Basically, the clans are invading.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
There's if you go, okay, here, I'll take you this one. There's screenshots of it. They're finally bringing the clan tech into the game, which is awesome in my opinion, because you can have things like the Mad Cat, and the Summoner, which is the Thor. There's the link. The first one that they're showing screenshots of is the Mad Cat, which awesome. So, still not the same as Virtual World, but as close as you're going to get.
You'll take it. So,
I'll take it.
Things like this.
Oh, yeah.
Giant walking tanks, destruction everywhere.
Clan tech.
Mass hysteria.
Cats sleeping with them. And that's all I got.
Good.
How about you, Jason? Anything else you want to slap in before we roll the credits?
What was it that I just saw? The Grand Budapest Hotel, Wes Anderson's latest
Did you
film.
get to see it?
Yes, I saw it last night.
How is it?
Fan-freaking-tastic.
Oh, good. I want to see that movie.
If you're a Wes Anderson fan, this is right up your alley.
It looks weird enough that I would enjoy it.
Yeah, and the cast is great. You know, a lot of his usual actors and actresses that he works with comes back for a couple scenes. You know, Bill Murray obviously comes back for a couple scenes.
The ensemble in this is insanely huge.
Yeah, it's great. I love how Jeff Goldblum plays like the lawyer.
Okay.
Oh, god damn it. Who's the guy that's in Rescue Me, the firefighter?
Dennis Leary?
Dennis Leary. He plays one of the villains. He's a guy that has like rings shaped like skulls on every finger. He dressed like a nihilist. And he's basically like an assassin.
Nice.
Goes around killing people.
Awesome sauce.
Including one scene where he goes, you know, they're dealing with the lawyer about trying to read the will of this dead woman, and they're not doing what they want him to say. And for some reason he has the cat, and they're like, "We're leaving." Okay. And they're like on the second or third story window. Dennis Leary's character literally goes out, just looks at him, pets the cat, and just throws him out the window. It's like, did you just throw my cat out the window? It's a great film. You guys can go check it out.
I'll have to check it out.
All right. Good times, everybody, but like all good things, it must come to an end, and tonight being one of them. We'll be back next week for another episode of From My Mother's Basement. Stay tuned for post-show. And
the week after next, I will not be here. Well, actually, I may be here. It depends on how jet-lagged I
am. No worries. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching for From My Mother's Basement. I'm Jason.
I am Michael.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.